Shalom Israel with ISUPK. Start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York, where we teach blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians make up the 12 tribes and are indeed the 12 tribes of Israel. We're not affiliated with any other Israelite group. It's not under Commanding General Yohana, formed in 1969, then you're not under the truth. So get in the truth, get a flyer, come out to our camps, call us. The number posted on the screen there in Facebook, www.isupk.com, get in class. I'm Officer Kazak Shapar 50, and we're teaching the LASHAWAN QADASH class tonight. We're going to be going over some things about we shouldn't envy the oppressor. We'll go over a little bit about the alphabet too, the characters, so people understand. Every week I try to make the class new. I see we have Officer Shah, we have Ashayala, all right, Shah, and then we have Adrian, Clay Ferguson in class. Hope you guys can hear me okay. If you can hear me, make sure you put a 1 in the chat. Let's make sure everything's going all right. We'll wait for a few more people to get in class. Hope you guys can view everything all right, and hoping that we'll have a Tawab class tonight. We're going to start out by saying, this is the day after the slaughter of the Native American Indians. Some people out there still trying to celebrate and hold on to this gobble gobble turkey day. Some people still trying to say, oh yeah, well, I'm just eating something. No, well, we're gonna find out a little bit. We're gonna talk a little bit about it. We're gonna just say what the Most High, how He feels about it. We're gonna see what He says when He says envy. We're gonna look that word up in a few seconds. Matter of fact, if you're in class right now, as a matter of fact, before we go on to that, we'll let you know that because we're not affiliated with any other Israelite group, we don't take hold to celebrating their holidays. I'll write it out right here. They have holidays like this. Holidays. Even spelled wrong. We have holidays, of course. We have one coming up. Hanukkah, sorry, slightly. These holidays that they have. And they believe in celebrating Thanksgiving, where they slaughtered the Native American Indians. All the oppressors did. We were here long before they did on this land here. And we studied in another class where the land was given to us. But our oppressor rules it, runs it. Why? Because the Most High say in Job 9:24, I'm going to give it to the oppressor as a punishment for what we did wrong. So, but for right now, we certainly don't want to be part of his holidays, and one of them is Thanksgiving. That day right there. I'm writing it sloppy because that's the day. Even some of these fake Israelite camps may try to do that, but we don't. It's sloppy. Okay, all right. So we don't succumb to that, and then we don't take hold to the fact. It's lucky for a second. Let me check the chat here. We have Sharabana from Gulfport, Mississippi. All right, I'm writing these names down in class. Sharabana. All right, very good. In Gulfport, like I said, we have Officer Shah, we have Shayala, we have Adrian Clay Ferguson, and Sharabana in class. We don't succumb. We don't give credence to the fact that we keep their holidays. We're supposed to keep the holy days of the Lord, and we'll talk about that after class of the ones that are upcoming holy days. See, and that's why this class that we're teaching tonight is LASHAWAN QADASH. I'm going to couple it with, so people can understand. The word envy, it's a big word. It's Qana'ah. Qana'ah. You can write in your books, make sure you keep good records. I want you guys to look up right now, envious. Look it up in your phone and tell me in a few words, what does that mean? What does envy mean? What does it mean to be envious? What does it mean when I say this word right here? envy thou not. What am I saying? What is the Bible saying? You know, not just me. What's the Bible saying? Not just Kazakh Shapar, Officer of 50. What's the Bible actually saying when it says envy? What's it saying when we say envy not? You know? What are we saying? Envy not our oppressor. So write it down in the comments, just in a few words. You know, what does it mean? Tell me what envy means. Look it up. Let's see what we have. Shayala, the word just a bit blurry. All right. Can you adjust it on your end, Asha? Because I'll do it again. I'll make it a little thicker here. You know, right there. Yeah. Check your camera out, because I can see it on my end on the computer here. Let's see if you can see this a little better, Asha. Okay, the word envy. All right. Check it out. Look it up. Look up that word. Tell me what it means. I'll give you guys a few seconds. Tell me what it means when the Bible says, and we looked it up like I said, in Proverbs 3 and 31. Look it up. In the Bible, it says, envy not the oppressor. You know? What does envy mean? I mean, you got to understand what it means. It's a lot of a second. You got to understand what it means. If you want to know what envy is, you got to look it up and find out what this means. Let's see. All right. Word's a bit blurry. You can see it right now. Good. Let's look up envy. Look it up. Tell me what it means. That's everybody. If you can look it up, tell me what it means. Before I look it up, we'll give you guys a few more chances here to understand. Let's see who else is checked in here. Let's see. Shararana says envy, to learn to pronounce. Noun, a feeling discontented or resented, longing aroused by someone else's possessions. Qualities, potential for envy for people on desire. Okay, desiring, and so all these are all good. Asha and Shararana. One, in other words, the main. What does it say here? Learn to pronounce it. Wanting someone else's possessions. Let's put that one down for right now. Someone else's. Now, someone else. And this definition, that's a good one. We'll say someone else. And else. We're going to couple this. Like I say, qua na'a. We'll spell that out here in a second here. We'll show you what that means in Hebrew here, qua na'a. Someone else. Possessions. You know. We'll look it up. Let's look it up. Someone else's possessions here. Let's find out what that is. Let me put my glasses on. Let's read it. Let's read it out. Let's read up Proverbs 3 and 31. Let's read it out here. Let's see. Let's go to Proverbs 3 and 31. Those are good definitions. Someone else's possessions is what I mainly get out of all of that. Desire someone else's possessions. That's very good. So let's look at Proverbs. Let's get a better definition. A full definition, I may say. Proverbs 3, Slakia. Sorry about that. Old Testament. Oh, here. Okay, got it. 3 and 31. All right. Strive not with a man. Okay, I'm sorry, Slakia. Envy not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. It means don't desire someone else's possessions. Not his wife, not his goods, possessions. And what we're studying here today, not his wife, not his goods, not his riches, not his anything, you know, or someone else's possession. That's there. You got the business envy. It's almost coupled with the word covet. Now, anybody know in the Bible what that is? I'll show you. Let's turn to Exodus 20 chapter. Let's go there. Exodus 20. Exodus 20, we'll let you give a chance to get it there. When the Most High talked about to Moses about the commandments. Well, he tell you there's a commandment. Just tells you basically just pretty much talking about envious, you know. So let's turn to it. It's kind of coupled with that, in other words, not to have someone else's possessions of envy. All right, let's turn with this one. Let's turn to Exodus 20, the 17th chapter. We'll give you a chance to go over it. Let's see what else. Dina checked in. Sharab, very good. Dina, McCall checked in. I'm writing them down as we go. We're gonna get our Hebrew names. All right. For people who don't have them yet. All right, let's read with me. We're talking about on this fake holiday after the fake holiday afterwards. I would call it the aftermath, where people are full of that turkey, and I hope the Most High. I'm hoping that the Most High make you have a problem if you celebrated that day yesterday. You know, because that ain't something that we need to be doing. You know, we don't need to be envying their holidays. The Most High have our holy days for us. LASHAWAN QADASH is a lesson of understanding for teaching us our holy language. Envy, the word envy means QADASH. That's how you say it in Hebrew. And it means pretty much someone else's possession. Don't sit there saying, man, I envy that. I envy that holiday. I envy the fact they're eating turkey, giblet gravy, cranberry sauce, which represents the blood of the Native American Indians. I mean, they killed them with smallpox. They dashed their heads against the stones, against the rocks, the babies, under the trail of tears. So how in the world are you going to be envious over the oppressor when he did us like this? Why are you even trying to do that? So let's look at let's read Exodus 20 and 17. Let's see what it has to say. Thou shalt not. This is part of the commandments here. You know there are a lot of thou shalt nots up in here. This is one of them. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Someone else's possession. So coveting and envious is sort of like cousins there. I mean, strong brothers. Don't envy it, don't covet it. That's what it's saying. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his maidservant, nor his manservant, nor his ox, nor his ass, or anything that is thy neighbor. Look up covet. Look it up. Look up covet. I'll look it up myself also. Let's see what it means. Look, y'all look it up. Look it up. Tell me what it means. Give me a definition. You know, let's be proactive here, okay? Covet. What does it mean? Thou shalt not yearn to possess. That means want. Yearn. I have a yearning to want somebody else's possession. That's what this is saying. I have a yearning to go in there and slice this turkey because it looks so good. I smell it in the community. Neighbors are coming over. They serving giblet gravy, iced tea, cranberry sauce. They serving all of this. How come I can't be a part of it? Because the Most High told you not to. He told you don't envy the oppressor. Don't envy that. That's not your holiday, especially after the Native Americans have slaughtered us. The blacks, the Hispanic, and Native American Indians make up the 12 tribes of Israel. So how could you want to put our brother down by celebrating something that is a part of an oppressor holiday? That's Thanksgiving. Why would you do that? Why would you have done that? And I hope none of our people have done that. Let's look up in the chat. Let's see what else we got up in here. Sharabana, is it real? Also, not great. All right. Sharabanaz with Officer Natazah, who's our camp leader. It's a wonderful camp leader who's got things on track here in Greenville, South Carolina, more particular Simpsonville. Come and visit us on our next Hanukkah, holy day. That's the day that you want to keep, the Hanukkah. We'll talk about that a little bit. Not this Thanksgiving holiday right here that people just went over. And certainly not Christmas, it's in Jeremiah 10. We'll talk about that in a second here. We ain't got no business coming up in here. See, Shara, right here. We ain't got no business. Shalak a second. Shara. Okay. We ain't got no business coming up and trying to emulate or simulate the envious of the oppressor. I mean, what for? That's kin to coveting. So, a commandment of the Lord said, don't do it. Let's go back and turn to, where are we at? Exodus, the 20th chapter, 17 verse. Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house, thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife, nor his manservant, nor his maidservant, nor his ox, nor his ass. Don't covet. That's the whole point is, don't covet. Don't do this. There's, we don't need to be doing that because the Most High has given us plenty holy days. You don't want you going out envying and coveting things like that because you'll never be on track. You'll never understand the laws of the Most High if you're trying to simulate, pattern yourself after the oppressor. The Bible says separate. That word is badalka. So let's put it up here. Let's put that word up here. To separate. Let's put up what it says here. To separate. He's telling you to separate. Separate from the oppressor. Separate. And that word in the Hebrew, I like to, let's put it right here. Ba, dal, and then ka. Ka saying is the possessive adjective saying for you to separate. Badalka, separate from the suppressor. Okay, well, we'll write, let's write this out a little bit here. Qua, let's write what it stands for. So far we know that someone else's possessions don't envy. That qua na'a. So qua, let's look this up here. We'll write it in, let's see, where's my glasses at? Is it qua na'a? Make sure I got that right here. Yeah, that's where it is. Yeah, qua na'a. We'll do it in paleo here first, and then we'll do it in Assyrian, qua na'a. We'll do that first. There it is. That's how you spell that in Hebrew. Qua, and guys, I hope you guys have been keeping up with your Hebrew, Qua na'a. That is the Assyrian, and like I said before, that's the Assyrian right there. And the Assyrian Hebrew is what we had in captivity. That's where we learn a lot of these ways. Someone else's possessions. That's where we learn a lot of this from. Most High says separate from it. And we learned a lot of this just from watching them. Okay, he says separate from their ways. Then it says, and choose none of his ways. So let's see if we can go around here. And we'll keep putting it on the board here until we get it all out in the open. Sorry about that. It's locked in here. Got to erase the board. Okay. Envy. All right. Envy not. It's basically saying la'a. See if I can get some room up here. In other words, la'a. Okay? And then envy not. Envy thou not. Of thou meaning, it's talking about you. La'ah. And so how do we do that? In Hebrew, we're basically saying we're doing paleo. From week to week, I try to change up because we don't have time all the time to go over the paleo and the Assyrian. Okay? La'ah. Oh yeah, of course. Like this. So far, that is Assyrian that we're writing here. When you see this in the Tanakh, when you're reading, especially you young man, your troopers, and you're trying to learn, you open up the Tanakh, the book of Tanakh, let's find it right here. When we're reading it, that's your quest, is to learn how to read out of this. Okay? To learn how to read Hebrew out of that book right there. That's your quest, out of the Tanakh. Okay? In this case, it's we're doing it in the Assyrian right here. I might have room, la'ah, if we had it in Hebrew. Select here, select a second. Select you. Okay? If we had it in Hebrew, in the paleo, it will look like this. La, and then it will look like this. Ah. Okay? You always read Hebrew from right to left. Okay? From right to left. So, la'ah, la'ah. Envy not. He's going to do it. If he celebrates Turkey Day, then you don't. That's the point. Why? Because the Most High tell you not to. He says, envy not the oppressor. Don't be zealous don't be in such a hurry to take hold and envy someone else's possession. That's their possession. That's their legacy. That's their fighting. That's their understanding of how to deal with people. Most High is getting ready to deal with them in a few. Let's look in the chat and see what else we got. Okay? Farah. Okay. Dina. Okay, good. That's theirs. All right? Let them have that. We know what oppressor means, so let's look up this. We say oppression is na. Well, we'll say ha, because the word for thee is ha. And then we'll say nagash. Gosh, okay? Like that. Hope I got enough red in there. Yeah, there it is. Na, okay? Nagash. Ha, nagash. Now, we don't want to put that word, the oppressor, because we don't have to put a possessive adjective. We'll talk about that in some of our classes. We don't have to put the possessive adjective after oppressor. You just say the oppression. No, in other words, it's not nagash ha. It's ha, the. You want to say it directly. Ha, the. Okay, nagash. You know, I'm putting this up here so you guys, because if you actually were on this planet before, and I do believe that, we'll get into class where we talk about that, where the Most High knows that we're priests and prophets of the Most High. Our lineage go way back to Israel. You know, these words will sink in your mind. You'll memorize them. I memorize them. Let's look and see what else is in the chat here. Let's lock you for a second. Okay, yeah. Y'all want to know about the connectors. Since, see, I normally don't have connectors in the Assyrian, but actually, over here in the Paleo, you would have it. Now you can say, you can do it in two ways. You can make it one word. You can make it one sound. Or in this case right here, you can do this. You can say la, ah. But if you did it this way, la, ah, how long will I have to hold on to la? La, what, 2-3 minutes? Ah, la, ah. So I usually use, it's one sound. Like this. it's a dependent connector. La-ah. Because if you did it la-ah, it sounds like you're speaking slowly. That's one sound. I mean, how long? Who can say how long to hold it? La-ah. That's the connection. Get that here in your brain. Get that in your mind. When you have words of understanding, when you're writing Hebrew, you want to see if you can make them one sound, or see if they're made in one sound. You don't go out and just say la-ah, it's la-ah. Okay? This is one sound. One sound. Like to say one band, one sound, it's sounding la-ah. Okay, anyway. The red I'm using tonight, tonight's class, is the Paleo-Hebrew. That is the original LASHAWAN QADASH language. Let's lock it for a second. Salaki. Come on in. Hey, now grab some seats. Grab some seats, girls. All right. There you go. Okay. Hope that answers your question, Aisha. Okay. Hope that answers you at the end. It's not at the end, by the way. In the it's not at the end. I think you're saying that are there sounds that you use they call these are connectors here that we use in paleo in red here. Get us some chairs right there. We have some people in our class to lock you there. We're setting up some more chairs here. But in Hebrew, you use the at the end it's called ending characters, not ending connectors. You use ending characters that we use. Ending characters. And for ending characters, you want to do that in the Assyrian, okay? And we'll show you a few words. I think I may have one. If not, I'll do some illustration where we show the characters. Like, in other words, if you use a word like let's do this word here. Let's see if we can find one. All right. I'll put the knock back over here. Let's see if I can find a word where we use ending characters. So you get some understanding on Asha, because before we go on further. But so far, envy thou not the oppressor. You don't envy him on this turkey day. That's qana'a, la'a, ha, nagash. That's how you would say it in Hebrew. Qana'a, la'a, ha, nagash. The oppressor, okay? But you're talking about an ending connector sound. That's what you want to use when you want to use words like Abba, Gada, Hawazaka, Tayakala, Manasa, Ipataza, Kwara, Sha, Tha. There are 5 connectors that you will use in the Assyrian. You call it alphabet, but in the Assyrian, it's not alphabet, it would be the Assyrian, there you go. The Syrian language that we use is Syrian characters, okay? So you would have ka, like this. Let's see if I can get it a little better here. We'll have, let's see if I can make it, let's see. I normally use that in green, since we have some new students, because a lot of students use Salaki. A lot of students don't know, so we'll bring it up. We have ka, and I may have to use another color. That color's kind of fading me there. Ka, there we go, ka, okay. And ka, at the end that you have like that, okay? And then you have an ending connector like this, like that. That ending connector. When you see this one here, let's just use the ending connector so I won't confuse you here. And ka, you use this at the end. If you had something that had an ending with ka, like that, okay? You say ka. That would be your ending connector, okay? Like that. There's 5 of them, so let's go to another. Let's go to ma. Let's go ma. And it will look like this. For ma, you know, you gotta, if you want to use in the Assyrian, it will look like this. Sort of a big, kind of, I'm trying to draw a little bigger, it's a little square. But I'm writing the words in Hebrew in Assyrian that would actually have connectors, okay? Then you have na. Na is another one. I'm doing off the top of my head here. Na will look like, of course, you have like this, sort of like that. Those are the ending sounds. Those are the ending characters. You call those ending characters at the end of Assyrian language. And of course, the Paleo, which we're using red up here, you know, it doesn't have an ending character. It has a connector. Since we prompted to do that, I'm taking my time and making off subject here for a second. Ka, ma, and na. Those are ending characters. And we'll go over that maybe before class is over. We got a little bit more time after we're choosing Proverbs 3:31. We'll go over it a little bit. Ma, na, sa. Kana, mana, sa. I, pa. We got pa. Right here, like that. Okay? And pa will look like this. Okay? Like this. Let's see. It's been a while since I did this one. Look this up. Let me make sure I get pa right. Get it right. It's been a while since I've written the pa here. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Okay, let's make sure. Yeah, there it is. Kind of like, gotta put the two little twins there like this. There we go. Something like that. Pa. So there's four of them. We got one more. I, pa, then we got tazah. We're writing it down. We're taking the time for a shah so we can understand it a little better. Been out of class for a while, but we're going to show you, my brother, tazah. So in tazah, you want it to look sort of like this. And those are your ending characters. I usually use green just to keep it illustrated right there. Those are your ending characters for Assyrian. I'll write it down. Make sure you write that down, put in your notes now, because I went through it in class for a reason. Like this. In other words, Assyrian. Now, you don't use these Assyrian, just like this. If you understand it, you know, type a 1 in the chat. All those who understand that, just make sure there are 5 characters for Assyrian that have ending characters, not connectors. Don't get them confused. Ending characters, okay? Let's look in the chat and see if you guys understood it. Let's see what you got here. Inshallah. Speaking on hat, is there, Nagash? You speaking, is there connectors at the end? Yeah, well, I'll put them all there anyway. So Nagash, no, because Nagash is an H right here, Asha. Because Nagash is an H right there, it does not have an ending character because it only covers ka, ma, na, pa, tazah. So the answer is no. Do you understand that? Type, la'ah or kan or so I'll make sure you understand that. Okay? I'm taking time out, make sure you understand. All right? In other words, qana, da, qana, la'ah, ha, nagash. Envy not the oppressor. You don't want to choose this way. You don't want to choose his holidays. That's his holiday. We have holy days.
Right.
QADASH. Holy. Okay? Holy days. That's what we use. Okay? We don't go around keeping turkey days and giblet days and keeping days just to be keeping. The Most High has given us holy days. Okay? Let's look and see what you have in there. Chat. Khan. Sharabana. Okay, you understand the water, sir? Yeah, absolutely. Asha, absolutely. Just keep standing flat for it. We're going to get you together. Okay? Because that H right there does not have an ending character because it simply doesn't. Ka, ma, na, pa, tazah. Those are the only ones you use in Assyrian. So I hope we covered that, okay? and we'll move on. But I want to take our time, make sure that was an absolutely challenging, honest question, and we gave you, we appreciate you for participation in class for saying that. So I appreciate that. So anyway, all right, let's go to Ha in Hebrew. Let's do this Syrian right here. Let's see what this is. Ha, okay? And the paleo is like this one, like that, okay? And then the Syrian will be like this. Ha, like that, okay? And just so that you'll understand, I'll put a dot right there just to let you know they're different. I try to do it in different colors so you guys can understand a little better, okay? All right? So you guys can understand a little better. All right, and let's go to the dots. The words you're talking about, the oppressor. Who is an oppressor? All right, in the chat, somebody name me, other than, if we are the 12 tribes of Israel, okay? You know, Yehowadah, Benjamin, that's Benjamin, that's Simeon, okay, different tribes. That's us. We're not our own oppressor, so tell me, who is the oppressor? Tell me. Somebody put in class, name me a country that's oppressed us. Name me a country. Name me one of them. Put it in the chat. So before we go on, who is Nagash? And I'll underline it here so you guys can see it. Who is this Nagash? So we'll know. When the Bible talks about, Moab, Ammon, Amalek, okay? Canaanites. Who is the oppressor? Somebody name me an oppressor in the chat. Tell me. Tell me who this is. Tell me what. Tell me. Show me. China. Okay. India. Very good. Sararana. That's China. India. That's exactly right. And of course, we'll erase this off the board for connectors here. We'll do that. We have a little more time in class. We'll explain a little further. It's good that I like participation because it brings up questions like that. All right, let's see. China, the oppressor. Of course they don't eat turkey. They eat bats, rats, cats, dogs. We don't want to envy that either. So when the Bible says, "Envy not thy oppressor," it means exactly that. You can also go to Genesis, like I said, 20:17. That means covet. Don't covet it either. Okay. So, Nagash, let's see. What are we doing here? Okay. Let's go to this right here. Na. Let's go to Na. Let's go to the Syrian first, like this. Na. Kind of like that. That's an N. You guys need to really study your Hebrew characters, okay? Na. Before I get to China, I think you said China, India, that's Elam, okay, and China, India. Somebody in the chat, tell me who China is in the Hebrew. See if you all been keeping up with class over the time. Tell me who China is, all right? And then God, while I write out this word here, Na-ga, okay. Let's see. We'll write it over here.
Sister Shiraz said Moab.
Moab. All right. Give that sister a hand. Give her a hand. Moab. Exactly right. That's Moab. Give me another one. Y'all keep it going over in the chat. In the chat right there. Moab. Elam.
Shaya Allah said Moab as well.
That's right. Get that brother a hand. Give him a hand. All my participating students right there. That's right. Moab. And India is Elam. Give me another one if you can figure it out. Okay. Oh gosh. Let's see. See if I can get some room here. Notes flying everywhere. Go ahead, sir.
Shiraz said Ammon.
Ammon. That's a very good one.
And Ashaya Allah said Ham.
And tell me who Ham is. Hell, these oppressors. These are the ones that are oppressors. Let's tell me who these nations are in the chat. Tell me who is Ham. Who is Ham? A slice of ham. Tell me who that is. You know, tell me who that is. Tell me who these people are. You know. And while I finish writing this word out here, can you see one glass? Where it is? Oh, here they are. All right. Okay. There it is right there. Okay. Na, ga.
Salaki, the sister Shara said the Medes, and Ashaya Allah to the answer about the Hamites, he said the Africans.
Africans, that's exactly right, brother.
Right.
The Africans, exactly right. Africans. What is Sarasa?
She was asking, she said the Medes.
The Medes, or Medes and the Persians.
Right.
That's what she's talking about. The Medes and the Persians, they kind of go hand in hand. Those are sort of like Mahmud Ahmadinejad, those people. The Persians, that's who the Medes are. And actually, they're the Persians, but they cousins anyway. They all about the same. They're all about the same anyway. They all are oppressed. That's the point. Let's finish writing this out here. What I did? Nagash. Then we'll have Shah. Oh, there it is. Okay, Shah. Okay. Then we'll write over here. Nagash, you guys can write in your book here so you can understand. Leave some room up in here, so I'll do this. Okay, just like that. And then you have Na, then we have Ga. Okay, and then we have Sha. Okay, that's how it's written in Paleo, right here in red. In Hebrew, we have Assyrian. And like I was telling the Shah before, you paying attention there? Because there is no ending characters, they don't have to apply in Hebrew. That's why we don't have it. I will write it in green if you see an ending character. And that's usually go on with Assyrian, not the Paleo, okay? And now let's put the connectors on the Nagash. Na, that's an independent connector. All right? And how have I taught you guys to do it? Basically, let's just find the ones of trouble. Join them together, just like that. Nagash, okay? This is independent right here. But you need a dependent connector for Gosh. You want the Ga and the Sha to sound out at the same time. That's why you put a long U under it. And when you say Na, it's independent. Okay? You want to carry its own sound. African, who is Ammon? Is anybody, somebody in the chat, tell me who Ammon is. Y'all participants, tell me who Ammon is. Who is Ammon? Somebody in the chat.
Right. Salagi, I got some comments in the chat.
Okay.
All right.
Yes, sir.
Ammon, somebody said the Japanese.
Ammon, Japanese. All right.
Shara said that, and I guess the other things that they had. Shah said the Japs.
Japanese. Japanese. Okay.
Japanese.
Japanese. You know, and you know they got there. The Japanese and Chinese are basically cousins. Right. I'm gonna say for all practical purposes, brothers/cousins. Because how did they do that? Anybody put in the chat? Let's see what ventures. Why is Moab and Ammon? How did they even come about? Anybody in the chat can tell me? In the chat, how they come about? What did they do? How did they got them slanted eyes? What happened? Tell me. I don't want to break into the story of the Bible. I'm just kind of like envy not the oppressor. You need to know who the oppressor is. If you're going to envy this, if you're going to envy not Quana'a La, the oppressor, Ha Nagash, the oppressor. We need to know who these people are. I mean, there are many more. Matter of fact, we'll get somebody get Psalms 83 for me. Psalms 83 out of the Bible, and let's find out who some of these oppressors are. Let's match up with what they're saying there, if they could. Psalms 83. Let's find out. let's, if we could, we got the Officer Bon Quran class. Officer 1000, have Officer Maradaki 500. We're glad to have him here. Glad to have him to assist me to LASHAWAN QADASH class.
Psalms 83.
Psalms 83, sir. You could for me. Y'all follow along with me in the chat, and let's turn to Psalms 83. Let's find out who these oppressors are. So we said China, India, Ammon, Africans, Ham. You need to know on the street who the Baldal Ka. That means to separate. That word's in Hebrew, B-A-D-A-L, Ka. Ka is a possessive adjective. It goes at the end. It's Baldal is the word. Separate. So we need to know to separate the oppressors. You got to know who they are. Yes, sir. Could you read a little bit of that for me, sir?
All right, the book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. In Salagi, if I could. Right?
Yes, sir. Come down.
This is one of our prayers
Yes,
at Sabbath service that we speak every time.
That's right. Exactly right.
All right, Salagi.
It's one of our prayers that we use as Officer, Officer Aban Kura. He said, this is actually one of our prayers that we use. We don't want to envy these. We want to know what's directed at who in the world are these oppressors. Let's find out who this is. But we want to find out who put us in the guise of keeping turkey days and who put us in the guise of keeping these Christmas tree days. Sir, yes, sir, if you get that scripture for me, sir.
Cool. The book of Psalms, chapter 83, verse 1. Keep not thy silence, O Yahweh.
That's right.
Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O Yahweh.
That's right.
For lo, thy enemies make a tumult.
Thy enemies, right there. Hold that for a moment. Thy enemies. The enemies is the oppressor.
Right.
That's what it means. Keep reading, sir.
God.
Just real quick,
Yes,
if
sir.
I could, about
Yes, sir. Absolutely, sir.
Man, this scripture right here is so heavy, man, and this is why it's so prominent, you know what I'm saying, that blacks, and Native Indians,
Right.
they understand their true culture and their true roots
Right.
when it comes to these scriptures right here, man.
Absolutely.
We, you know what I mean, like, just like y'all brother said, you know what I'm saying, we read these scriptures every single day during Sabbath service to have a mental mindset of who our enemy is.
That's right.
And what they have continued to
That's
do
right.
to us
That's right.
over time after time, and getting that over 400 years.
That's right.
And blacks, and Native Indians are still on the bottom of the total, you know what I mean, like the bottom
That's
of
right.
everything, man.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? So this is very, very important that you bring these scriptures out. You know what I'm saying? It's just so very important, man.
That's
And
right.
this is something that the ISUPK has been doing since 1969, as far as trying to bring up our people when it comes to blacks, and Native Indians,
That's
and
right.
letting them recognize truly who the devil that the Bible speaks of. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right.
Our oppressor, along with these other heathens. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
along with these other heathens, they have had an intricate part in oppressing blacks, and Native
Right.
Indians. You
That's
know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's coming. Get
Yeah.
off of him. They both off of him. Officer Mara Dr. Aban Kara. Exactly right. Finish reading for me, sir.
God. And they that hate thee have lifted up their head.
Lifted up their head. Just to agree, sir.
Verse 3. They have taken crafty counsel.
And that crafty counsel, now we're talking about here, even out that oppressor. This oppressor and took crafty counsel. That means he went there, sharpened his pencil, dotted his I's, and crossed his T's, and he did this. Go ahead, sir.
God. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones.
Now, who are the hidden ones? The hidden ones are the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. That's what we have been talking about since we opened up class. That's what we're going to always be talking about. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, they've taken crafty counsel against us, our Nagash, or our oppressor. Finish reading, sir.
God.
See the more on that? Crafty counsel.
God. And consulted against thy hidden ones.
Yes, sir.
They have said, come, and let us cut them off from being a nation.
Cut us off from being a nation. That means we were once a nation of Israel. Of course, under the curse. Now you see why. Finish reading, sir. Psalm 83.
God. That the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance.
No more.
Verse 5. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. The tabernacles of Edom.
Edom, the tabernacles of Edom. In the chat, somebody type in the chat right now, who is Edom? Let's dwell on this for a second here. This is good. Somebody type in the chat, who is Edom? I know who it is. I want you guys to tell me who is Edom. Who is Edom? Somebody tell me in the chat. See if the first one come up with it. Because I know we all have astute participants in class every week. Who is Edom? And don't be shamefaced up and tell it exactly like it is. Who is Edom?
Salaki.
Yes, sir.
Ashayala and Shara.
All right.
Princess Shara, they both said whites, and the white man,
That's
the
right.
descendants of Esau,
That's right.
Caucasians.
Caucasian people. That's right. You find that in Genesis 25:25. And we'll get that in a second because we're going to end it out of press. All right. Finish reading, sir.
Good.
That's right. This is the white man, Edom. That's one of them. Let's make sure we put him up here. We don't want to let him give him his due. That he is one of the oppressors. We don't want to leave him out on that one. Edom, Esau, the white man. Okay, that's who he is. That's what he does. It's important to know who he is and who all these other nations are. They're not for you on your job. As you walk in your walking life, you're getting your car fixed. Just keep in mind, these people are your oppressors. Go ahead and read, sir. If you can, sir.
The tabernacles of Edom.
Right.
And the Ishmaelites.
Israelites, that's Israelites is Arabs. Let's read, sir.
And of Moab.
Moab, and one of the sisters said China, right?
Right.
China, the Chinese Moabs, and we'll talk about it further. Go ahead, sir.
And the Hagarenes.
The Hagarenes, I think those are some of the Africans, I think.
If I'm not mistaken.
I think it is.
Zondervan up there?
Yeah, we'll keep reading, sir. We'll get it.
Cabal.
Ball.
And Ammon.
And Ammon, that's one of the Japanese. Okay.
And Amalek.
Those are the fake white Jews in Israel now. Those are the ones walking around here in front of a wall, bobbing their head, sticking pieces of papers in the wall like they ain't got good sense. Those are the other people. Amalek, those are the fake Jews, okay? One they call themselves Yeshua or whatever they said their name is. Yes, sir. Finish read, sir.
The Philistines.
Those Africans, I believe, sir.
South Africans.
South Africans, yes, sir.
With the inhabitants of Tyre.
Inhabitants of Tyre, not sure who that is.
They Hamites too.
The Hamites also, yes, sir.
Ashur also is joined with them.
Ashur is also joined with them.
They have hope in the children of Lot.
The children of Lot. The children of Lot is China and Ammon.
Salah, do unto them as unto the Midianites.
That's right. That's enough, sir, on that one. I appreciate that. If you can, yeah, I appreciate that. And that's what the officers brought out. So in Psalms 83, it tells you who these nations are. Write that down in your note. LASHAWAN, QADASH. Those are your Nagash. When you see Nagash, that word in the Tanakh, you can read it. It'll tell you. When you see Nagash, you say, oh man, that's the oppressor. And as I read these notes, sometimes I say, oh man, that's what the word means. It's Nagash. Quana'a, la'a, Nagash. It means oppressor. Okay, or Nagash. And so we'll basically everybody that's in the world that had a part of our captivity, the Most High said, don't be envious of these people. Okay? That's why we're in trouble now as Israel, true Israel. We sitting up here envying and carrying on coveting what they want. Those words are cousins to it. So let's finish out what this says, and choose none of his ways. What somebody put down in chat some of the ways. Let's write here. Before we do that, let's finish right here. Wah. Let's use this right here. And is wah in Hebrew. Wah. When you see wah, or if you see wah. Wah, let's see. Let me write it in Hebrew here. Let's write it. let's write it in paleo. Well, let's write it in, we'll write it in paleo first. Like this, and then we'll write it in Assyrian, and then we'll put it over here in red. We'll write it in Wa, looks like that. Okay? Okay? Wa. And it says the word choose, we'll say that word is bakar. We'll say bakar. So let's write that out. B-A-C-A-A-R. Now bakar, if you look closer, you see one of the characters right there, ka. That's one of our Hebrew characters, ka. Okay, and that word spells like this. Ba. Let me write it down here. Let's see here. What is it? Bakar. Ba. Let's write it in Assyrian first. Ba. Like that. Okay. Ba. Then we'll say ka. Like that. And then we'll say ra. Yeah, that's right, bakar. Okay. All right. May not have enough room. Ooh, that's right there. Okay. So that's how you spell the word bakar in Assyrian. I don't think I have enough room to write it in paleo. Choose none. It says not one. For the word none, I use la'akad. That means not one. So let's do that. Choose none. Let's do, I said la'a, like that. Then I said akad. An akad. Now let's see. What did I say before? Let's see. In the chat, see if you guys can remember this one. What does the word akkad mean? I got that spelled wrong. In the chat, see if you can tell me if y'all remember what akkad is. Akkad. You know what la'ah is. None, la,
Come in.
ah.
Come in.
What does akkad mean? We'll find it here. Akkad. If y'all can see, if y'all can remember it. That's the word. I kind of made that word together by putting two words together in Hebrew. La'ah is none. Say, not one.
Shara has it. She has one or first.
There you go. Give Shara in. She's on it tonight. She's telling that she understands, she takes note. So if I say la'akad, what that means is not one. Okay, that's really what it means. And I couldn't find the word none, so I just put two words together, as I was instructed to do. La'akad, not one. Okay? So, give that sister a hand. She understood it. That's very good. Okay? Shaw of the word. Oh, we got some word here. I'll put it. I'll write it. Let's see. Let's write it in there so people can see it. Shaw, the word of, is translated shawl. And I'll put it kind of down here. I hope you guys understand what I'm doing right here. Shawl, okay? When you see that word shawl, and then it says, shawl, his ways, that's wa barak darakyam. Okay, so we'll say wa, because that's what was, his is. And to say ways, you want to say darakyam. Da, rock, like this, rock, yum. Now, you can put on this word right here, here's a good lesson for you right here to understand. I want to see if in the chat, if y'all can remember what yam is. Why did I say yam? Why did I just say the rock? Why did I put a yam on the end of the rock? What have we been learning in the chat? What does yam mean? I can say wa darakyam, or I can say darakyam wa. because this is possession to that noun right there. So what does, when I put yam on the end, choose none of his ways, what am I doing when I put yam on the end of way or the rock yam? Anybody remember in the chat?
Slack it. Sister Shara said plural or multiply.
There you go. That's sister hand. That's very good. All right. Exactly right. That's exactly what it means. It means plural. Why? Because that's how you say, and I say, if I say choose none of his way, you know, some people can say that, but let's make sure we make this as plural. None of his way. That means none of his turkey holidays, none of his Christmas holidays, none of his Halloween holidays, and right after Christmas here, right after Thanksgiving, we're concentrating on the turkey day. How the native Indians were dashed and beat and degraded. All they try to do is get along. But what does a white man, the oppressor, the devil do? What does he do? He chooses to be an oppressor. He chooses to be a devil. Nagash. He's an oppressor. Okay, so far we have, let's see, understand here. So far, here we go, okay. So far we have Quana'a, La'a, Ha, Nagash, Wa, and choose, Bakar, none, La'a, Akkad. That means not one. So let's put not. Well, I made up a word there. So y'all hang in there. So, la'akad, I don't want to get that confused right there. Shawl, let me put it up here where it belongs, because people let me just put it right above it. Okay, there we go. Yeah, there we go. Okay. But la'akad means not, really not one. Right there. That's what it really means. Not one. La'akad. Okay? And wa darakam. Let's do another thing right here. If I say, let me give you guys a little bit more lesson in Hebrew, a possessive adjectives. I like to go over a lot of things in class, so you'll begin to ask questions, so you begin to learn this Hebrew. His is wa, but his is a possessive. Shows possession, okay? So it's an adjective. It's saying whose ways? Their ways? Our ways? Our is nawa. But in other words, we want to say his, a wa. So we say, when you say way, you say darak. You want to say darak yum, that means a lot of ways, more than one, plural, as the sister said. So you can actually take this word and do it like this. Instead of saying why darakyam, you can say this word right here. So we can say da, rock, yum. Ooh, I spelled that wrong. If we put an A in here, if I learn how to spell it right. Da rock, okay, da rock, yum, and then we're going to put a wa at the end. Now, why did I put that wa there? I put that wa there because it shows possession. Let's show the possession of way. His ways. Da, ra, yum, wa. Da, ra, yum, wa. You can put all this word right here, wa, and da, ra, and yum, and make one word out of it. Now it seems like it's an intelligent way of saying it. That's how Hebrews talked back then. Right. They didn't go and just say wa da rock, yum. They say da rock yum wa. That's what they really said. Right here. They did this. And if they want to say la'aka, not one, that's how they'll say it. And they can choose other ways to say it. So they said da rock yum wa. And people heard that and they said, oh, okay, you're saying his ways. If I wanted to say our ways, I would say the rock yum nawa. The rock yum nawa. if I want to say their ways and so on and so forth. I just choose to possess an adjective that fits what it needs, okay? And that's how we understand Hebrew. The more and more you understand it, the more you get the point. Okay? We'll talk about his religions. Let's turn to Galatians 1:13. Let's see. You got you can look it up your phone if you need to. Sure.
Galatians 1 and what is that?
What? Yeah, I believe it's. Let me make sure. I think it's Galatians. What did I say here? Yeah, Galatians 1:13. If you could for me, sir. Let's find out here. Let's find out when I say choose none of his ways. Let's find out what some more of these ways is. His religions. Let's find that out too. What did I say? Galatians.
This is the book of Galatians, chapter 1, verse 13.
Right.
For ye have heard of my conversation in time past in the Jews' religion, how that beyond measure I persecuted the church of God and wasted it.
They persecuted the church of God and the Jews' religion. In other words, the Jews' religion. They took our religion and persecuted us. You know, that's one way the oppressor to hurt us even more. You know, they just persecuted. Let's look at Jeremiah 10:3. Let's find out another one of those times that our oppressor has chose to oppress us even further. Let's Jeremiah, if officer can get for me Jeremiah 10. What did I say?
10:3.
10:3. Yes, sir.
It's the book of Jeremiah, chapter 10, verse 3.
All right.
For the customs of the people are vain.
Customs of the people are what?
Are vain.
Are what?
Are vain.
Are vain. That means you shouldn't be doing them. Why are you? Of the people. Just finish reading, sir.
For one cutteth a tree out of the forest.
That's what's getting ready to happen here after this Turkey Day. Now we just had that. They getting ready to celebrate something else. Somebody tell me what this is. They cut the tree out of what?
Cut a tree out of the forest.
They cut this tree out of the forest and did what, sir?
The work of the hands of the workmen with an axe.
That's right. They fashioned it, and what else, sir?
Verse 4, they deck it with silver and with gold.
Uh-oh, that sounds like something very, very, very strange going on here. One of their customs, envy not the way of the oppressor, don't envy his ways. And say, so basically, somebody tell me in the chat what Jeremiah 10:3 describes to you in your mind. When you saw that, what does that mean?
The sister Shara Renah said Christmas.
All right, Christmas, that's right. That's Sister Ann. Christmas, that's exactly right. That Christmas, I'm not going to get into the detail of this. I'm just kind of pointing out some of these religions, some of their holidays, and it should be a holy day. That's exactly right. It's Christmas, and all these days, that's exactly right. Let's find out some more things right here. Let's find out some more ways of the oppressors here. Let's see. You don't want to envy. Let's find out what else they got here going on. Let's see. Let me see what else I can add up in here in the chat. Written down. We'll look up. Okay. That's exactly right. Christmas time is not something you're supposed to be doing. Okay, yeah, good. Look up Genesis 24:37 for me, sir. We're not supposed to be envying thy way, the ways to take their women either. We're not supposed to be doing that. Let's find out what the Bible says about that. You're not supposed to be envying taking the oppressor's women either. It says envy not the oppressor's ways and choose none of his ways. So what are the ways that we're not supposed to be doing? What I said, Jeff?
You said 24 and what verse now?
I think it was it 37?
Yeah, that's right.
Was it 37?
Yeah, Genesis chapter 24 and verse 37.
Absolutely.
And my masters made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife of my son.
What's that now? A wife or what?
Thou shalt not take a wife of my son.
Okay.
Of the daughters of the Canaanites.
Of the Canaanites. Did we just got through talking about the Canaanites,
Right.
the Africans? Did we not? So we ain't supposed to be taking their women either. Read that again for me, sir. Let's make sure they understand that.
Come. And my masters made me swear, saying, Thou shalt not take a wife to my son of the daughters of the Canaanites,
That's right.
in whose land I dwell.
That's right. When we are dwelling in their land or anywhere, and we in our land, but they done took it over here, took it everywhere. So basically, wherever we put as slaves and chattel slavery, in other words, you ain't supposed to be taking their women either.
Right.
The white women, the Caucasians, the Japanese, the Ammon, the Elamites, and this one says the Chinese, the Canaanite. That applies to all of them. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The sister, the sister Shiraz going in right now.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
Let me see what's loud. Aisha said the LGBT, rape, murder. The sister Shiraz said birthdays. The sister Shiraz said the crab and the barrel mentality.
That's right.
International marriage, interracial marriage, voting, prostitution.
That's right.
Fourth of July, all their psychologies that they teach us to oppress each other.
That's right.
Dabbling in other false doctrines.
That's
right.
That's right. That's right.
That's something, you know what I'm saying? And what the
West.
sister is saying is, you know what I'm saying, is so One West and so UPK.
All right.
Especially when it comes to this dabbling in other false doctrines.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because of course, you know, us as Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians,
Right.
mainly dealing with Judah, we believe that we so-called African Americans.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But of course, if you do the research on that, you know, you got African, which is one kind, and you got American, which is one kind.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You got so many different type of tribes in Africa. You ask a regular Jake in the world, you know what I'm saying, what tribe of Africa they from, they gonna look at you crazy. You know what I'm saying? So they might as well just say, oh, you know, I'm a good old American, and you know, and I done have personal conversations with people that just say that they're just human.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like they don't come from you know, like no type of nationality. They don't come from anything. They just say they just blaming out human. And I just be puzzled, like, man, good night, man. Our oppressor has done a magnificent job with the psychology as the sister was bringing out.
That's right.
And this is something, you know what I'm saying, that's very, very important as far as what Black Hispanics and Native Indians need to understand their true culture and their true language. You know what I'm saying? Understand what the LASHAWAN QADASH.
Right.
I just want to bring that out.
Right. Exactly. You understand? Exactly right. The truth of it all is that we're confused.
Right.
And that's why in here in LASHAWAN QADASH class, I try to bring these words out. Nagash, Quana'ah. Don't envy these. Don't envy this. You know, yes, it's a good way of saying it. And choose by car. Not one. Not one. Don't choose his way, because the moment you choose one, you're stuck in all, you begin, because all these ways here, from the Catholic Church all the way over to the Baptist Church, all the way to this and all of that, you begin to understand some problems and some mess going on here. We talk about, you know, they make a religion out of Christmas. They make a religion out of Thanksgiving. They make his foods, you know. You're not supposed to be eating none of the stuff that he's put in front of you. When we're on the slave ships, you eating pig and swine and all of that. You're not supposed to be eating crab, lobster, and all those things. Those are the things that the oppressor enjoys. The Most High spanking us right now because of our foolishness for trying to join into all of that. That's something that you shouldn't be doing. That's something that we should have never been doing. So we say again, Quana'ah, La'ah, Nagash, Wabaka, La'akad, Darak Yamwa. Those, it says, Proverbs 3:31, it simply translates, envy thou not the oppressor. That means don't covet what he wants, don't envy it. And choose. You got to make the real dumb decision. I mean dumb decision to come up here and say, I want to choose to take the Thanksgiving Day and celebrate it because, well, that's the way my mama did it. That's the way my grandmother did it.
Right.
You know, we always had turkey, apple pie and giblets and gravy. And one officer said, what was it? Raisins inside of the, what was that officer?
The potato salad.
Raisins inside of potato salad. You know, good night. It's like, why would you go and give credence or even respect or understanding to a holiday that slaughtered our people? That's because that means you don't understand who your people are.
Right.
That's what it is. That's the reason why. But once you begin to understand who you are, how you've been hunted down, how you've been tracked and pulled out, and we'll talk about that a little bit about that next week. How you've been. But right now we're talking about on these holidays and this season. I noticed that people, they got an atmosphere of that. Of trying to understand these bad holidays that they're doing and not even knowing what they're for. You got to be really, really screwed up and mind gone bad. It's like when somebody say, all right, I'm coming up here, my whole family, died 10, 20 years ago. And you got somebody, next door neighbor going around doing a barbecue celebrating. That's how ignorant that is. Celebrating the fact that your family died, that's pretty much what this is. These are our families. The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are our families. We ain't got no business envying the oppressor in his holidays for celebrating the death of the Native American Indian. That's just plain ignorance. Right. So if you don't know, come out of that ignorance. It's a bliss to sit up here and worship something like that. You actually do them no service. The Most High looks down on you. As a matter of fact, and when you get up there and cook, somebody find that scripture where it says, smell not that solemn assemblies. Most High. If you cook for the service, when the Most High, when he looks down on it, he says, you know what? I sit up here and see you on the barbecue grill frying on this holiday. You could have picked anything. I just got up this morning and just ate. I got up yesterday and ate whatever, I didn't go out and celebrate in the park. And then the event, he said, the Most High, tell you what, I'm not going to even smell your psalms. And I understand all the pork that you put on the grill and all the different things that you put up there and all the nastiness that you put on the grill. The Most High said, well, I'm not going to smell that. He said, and all the pig. And just in case you put some ham up there for Thanksgiving, what does the Bible say, officer?
This is the book of Amos, chapter 5, verse 21. I despise your feast day.
Hate your feast day. That's what we're telling the Most High. He hates your feast day. The oppressor, the feast days that we call ourselves and join ourselves to, the Most High said, don't hit it. He said he hates your feast days. Finish up, sir.
Your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies.
He said, when you assemble together and you bring that nasty pig up there and got the crayfish and the whatever else they got up there, he said, I don't smell that either. Okay? I say, so of course, turkey is a clean eating animal. You can eat it, but I can imagine that you shouldn't be, when you celebrate that also at the Native American Indians, the Most High said, I don't smell that. Said you shouldn't be celebrating that time that basically is meant for us, that you dedicated for the degradation of us, to degrade us. Yes, sir.
If I could just real quick, because now like dealing with the American ways, like as far as having the ham and the turkey,
right?
You know what I'm saying? Of course, when you got that ham juice on that turkey, that makes that turkey unlawful. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. That's right. Got that ham juice on there.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, because of course, you got the ham and the turkey, and you can even have chicken wings. You understand?
That's right.
Man, once you get around that ham,
right?
Hey man, that's unlawful.
Contaminated.
You know what I'm saying? So of course, all of this wickedness is surrounded around our oppressive ways, and what you're saying. So
that's right. It's around. Thank you for that. Appreciate that. Amen. It's surrounded around our oppressor's way, putting that ham and the lobster, whatever else they put on there. The Most High, the whole idea is this. You ain't got no business celebrating and a holiday that the oppressor put on us Now he knows that. They know, oh, we slaughtered the American Indians. It's in their books. Matter of fact, when I was in school in 6th, they used to tear the pages out of some of these books so that we won't even know. And I'm taking it to another level. That literally happened. We didn't even know what page 27 was. I had one teacher one time, this is how wicked our oppressors are.
Right.
Tell me that Egypt wasn't in Africa.
Good night.
Told me Egypt wasn't in Africa. This is how the confusion goes on. Our oppressor, this is a white lady telling me Egypt ain't in Africa. I said, where is it? Well, it's a country, it's an entity of its own. I said, really? So I made her change my grade. I went to the principal, got that C changed to an 8. All because they wanted to confuse us further. I'm just in the 9th grade. That's how bad it is out here. That's how when you get on, whatever they did, we come out of slavery. Oh, it was a day off. Oh, master wants us to have a day off, so let's go have Thanksgiving with them. We got used to doing it. We got cooking them hams, them giblet gravies, the turkey necks. We got to doing this. Don't get me wrong. Turkey is good, but like the officer said, once you put all that ham around it, it's contaminated anyway. But the Most High said, look at this. I'm not going to smell that ham and all that stuff that you've done. But the point is that it's the wrong day. It's the wrong time for you to be taking a turkey and slicing it up and cooking with dressing and stuffing and celebrating because the Native Indians got slaughtered.
Right.
Slaughtered, desecrated, emasculated, all because some oppressors want to say, this is how all they could have done was just took it out of history. They could have had the dignity to say, well, we're going to take this out of history. We know it was wrong, so we won't make a holiday of it. They will make a holiday out of anything. They'll take a holiday. I mean, I'm saying, anybody know, somebody put it in the chat, but they know some more holidays. They say, oh, they had a day who said, this is,
Neither will I regard the feast.
that's right. There it is. Yeah, we got the sound back up, so lock it for a second there. Had some technical difficulties. But you know, they make a day, I think it was Sister Shara said, pillow fight day, donut day. I mean, I can sit up here and name days for going out here on Sunday. I mean, I can name you what the oppressor or the Nagash, what he has done was take and made his own solemnity. He's put his own little understanding of what he called holy. That's why he called it holly. Holly. That's like almost like a straight from the Pope, you know. Yeah, let's make a holiday out of this. You know, drink up. You know, They make a day. Who cares about National Donut Day? When they sit up here slaughter Native American Indians and then all this, why? And the oppressor just make a day. He'll make a day out of National Snail Eating Day. National, what else? Anybody? It's more holidays over there that they got there.
I mean, like I can just name some. I mean, you got National Pizza Day.
National Pizza Day.
National Customer Service Day.
National Customer Service Day.
You got National Boss Day. Yeah, it's just so many.
Many holidays. Yes, sir. Go ahead.
The No Shave November.
No, what was that now?
The No Shave November.
No Shave November Day. This is our oppressor acting a complete, erotic, crazy, stupid fool, talking about National No Shave Day. He wants to shave his face like some LGBTQT LASYZ or whatever. He wants to put on there talking about No Shave Day. The Most High says for us to grow our beards.
Right.
Okay, that is a law. So he gonna put up here, I'm gonna have me a National Shave Day.
Good night.
I'm gonna make them National Shave Day to go along with this. To go along with the confusion, if y'all wanna do it, that's all right with y'all. But we should be doing as priests and officers of the Most High, the sisters and the children of the Most High, is making sure that we simply don't keep their days. That's the whole point. Like I said, we can name it all day long. We just want to keep their days. We want to make sure the Bible says envy, that means don't covet, don't have an honor for it. That means don't desire what somebody else has. That's what it says. We looked it up earlier. Envy not thy oppressor, and choose none of his ways. We talked about his women. Let's see. Yeah, we got, let me see if I looked up this one right here. Choose none of his ways. We looked up Jeremiah 30. We looked up the Christmas trees, and we're going to get into that as time goes by real soon here. But choose none of his ways. Understanding. In LASHAWAN QADASH class, we try to break these words down in Hebrew so you'll understand them. And we go, when we say la'akad, we mean just that, not one. Not one. That means don't compromise with it to say, oh, you can do some of them. No, just a few. It says, envy not thy oppressor and choose none of his darak yam wa. None of them. Darak wam ya. That's what that word means. See. So understanding. So if you are actually Hebrew, these words right here will come back to you. They will have you understand them. We're priests and prophets of the Most High. We teach this Bible and understanding, and we show and you share it. The officers share it with your family, and the sister share it with your children, and of course, let the man lead out in class so he'll understand. So you give him respect, and understanding of all of this. So when we write down the Hebrew for all this, it'll help you memorize who you are. It'll help you memorize these words. Let's put down. Let's see if I can put down a word right here. Envy not thy oppressor. I've been talking about this word all night. Let me just erase this off the board. Pardon me for a second. I'm gonna put down this word here so we guys think we got enough room here. I'll keep the envy not part up there. Rob choose none of his ways. Let's just erase this right here. Okay. There's a word that I always like to put. I haven't put it down in a while, but let's put this word down right here in Hebrew. All right, so lock it for a second here. We use this word right here. This word in Hebrew, I've mentioned it a few times. Y'all might not be able to remember it. top of my head here. Dog. God. Really, it says this. You, Badalka. That's what Wa means. If I'm not mistaken in Hebrew. But we put it at the end of the word because we wanted to have possession there. Badalka. See, I don't know if you guys remember that word, but I'm going to write it down what it is. Let's see if I can, it means this. Separate. Separate. As long if you don't separate, then you become part of the envy not oppressor. You need to separate so you won't be. Find me a scripture on that if you could for a second. Some of y'all separate from your enemies. But Dalga is saying it's I believe I can find it might be. In other words, if you separate a Badalka, then you won't have enough from the oppressors. Badalka Nagash, separate from the oppressor and choose not La'akad, not one of his ways. You won't even have a chance to worship his holidays if you get away from him. That's the whole point. Let's see here. Let's find out. Let's see if we have a scripture here. I separated. Who separated? Let's see what this says right here. I had.
I got one.
What you got, sir?
2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
2 Corinthians chapter 6 and 13.
17.
6 and 17. Y'all look that up. Follow along. Go ahead, sir.
Wherefore come out among them.
Come out from among the. Finish reading, sir.
And be ye separate.
Be ye Badalka. Separate. Now, who is he saying that to? The blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. Is there any more on that, sir?
Saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean things, and I will receive you.
Touch. If you want to be received, touch not the unclean thing that the oppressor has in front of you. Don't envy his ways. And Badalka, separate, so the Most High can receive. Now let's put that into play. If you don't do this, if you don't separate so you receive, that means he ain't received. He ain't gonna receive you. You go around eating shrimp, crab, lobster, eating abominable things, and of course, let's say something clean like turkey. Eat it on Thanksgiving. Most High said, look here. He told you separate. Why are you sitting up here doing all this on their holiday? That all 365 days in the year you can be eating turkey and dressing, and you got to choose their holiday.
Right.
All these days, all this time, 365 days, or it may be another day if you got some leap year or whatever, and we'll keep this up here in the. All this time, and you got to choose that day, you should say in yourself, I ain't going to do this, and I'm going to have respect for my people. I'm going to have a great understanding because now I know. I didn't know before. I didn't know before, but now I know. I know now that I'm supposed to separate from these people. I know now I'm not supposed to be keeping their solemn, their wicked solemn days that they call solemn. They call them holidays.
Right.
Now read that for me again, sir. That scripture.
This is the book of 2 Corinthians chapter 6, verse 17.
Okay.
Wherefore come out from among them.
Come out from among them.
And be ye separate.
That's right. Be ye Badalka. That's what the word is. That means you. Be you or ye. Wa Badalka, but I put it in the because it's possession, it's telling you. You, not somebody else. It's telling you. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. You. To come out and Wa Badal or Badal Ka. Did I do that? Did I say that right? Ooh. That is Ka. Sorry. There we go. Ka. We simply put it over on the end, and we say Badal Ka. We separate it. That finish with that for me, sir.
Saith the Lord, and touch not the unclean thing.
Touch not the unclean things. Exactly right.
And I will receive you.
And the unclean things are Thanksgiving. That's an unclean thing, really. Christmas, unclean thing. Most High told you to keep that. Anything that is not part of the Most High is unclean. How do you expect him to receive you? How do you expect that if you go around keeping these days? My goodness. And the more and more you keep these oppressors' days, like Donut Day, Secretary Day, Ash Wednesday, whatever, then it'll take your mind off of, oh, hey, what's wrong with keeping this Thanksgiving? What's wrong with it? Because, hey, you don't see nothing wrong with it anyway. So, because I keep Donut Day, I keep National Car Wash Day, I keep National Giblet Gravy Day, I keep the oppressors' holiday for Christmas trees. I keep that one. So, what's wrong with keeping that? Because the Most High told you not to. Come out of these days and be separate. That's what you need to understand and do. That's what our oppressor has for us, so you can understand a little bit better of understanding of how to really, really, really get yourself together. And there'll be a remedy to, let's see, correction. Proverbs 3:12. You can say that for me if you could. I was going to get into some more of these holidays, but then again, Proverbs 3:12. Let's tell another remedy. Let's say how we can be fixed here. What's this? It's a correction scripture. What you got? Proverbs 3:12, sir.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 3, verse 12.
Okay.
For whom the Lord loveth, he
Whom
correcteth.
he loveth. I'm sorry. Go ahead, sir.
I should like it. For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth it.
Mm-hmm. Now look at it. For whom the Lord loveth, he loveth Israel. That's why he's correcting us now. He loves us. That's why he sent us over into this new Egypt over here. That's why he done this. For whom he loveth, he gonna correct. And that's what this is about. Holding these classes is about correction. The Most High will correct you. When we teach on the street, we correct them. The Most High is correcting America right now. The blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians that are caught up in this America. He's correcting those people right now. He's correcting us because we're the ones who try to grab while we're sitting here in America under subjugation. He wants to correct you. If you can read that scripture for me again, sir.
For whom the Lord loveth, he correcteth it.
Mm-hmm.
Even as a father, the son in whom he delighteth.
Okay? Whom the Lord loved, he corrects. That means you got a son that need correction, that always wants to get out and try to find the white girl, try to find the African girl, try to find some ham on a grill somewhere, trying to find some turkey on a bad holiday, Thanksgiving, trying to find a Christmas tree, trying to go anywhere he can other than what the Most High said. If you're blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians, the Most High is trying to correct you. Yes, sir, go ahead.
Right. Sister Shara Renah said,
okay,
correction is love.
That's right. That's exactly right. Good man. Correction is love. When the Most High correct you, that's love. Love ain't like, oh, I love you, ooey gooey feel it. He say, correction, you right. Correction is love. That makes sense, yes. He's trying to basically correct you and tell you, look, you're doing wrong. Matter of fact, if he don't correct you, just apply. That means he don't love you, but he does love you. That's why he's chasing us right now. Man, I can pull many scriptures where the Most High say, whom he loveth, he chastens. He corrects us. He does this. There's just so much involved in that. You have no business keeping a giblet gravy day. You have no business keeping a Christmas tree day. You have no business keeping none of these days. You ain't got no business keeping none of the oppressor days. And gosh, that oppressor, in other words, he wants you to do what? Separate. Separate from him. Badalka. Separate. Get your mind together so you can learn how to separate from him so you won't be involved. In other words, if you had the days correct and the understanding correct, the yuam is the days, and you wouldn't be sitting up here saying, what day should I be doing now? The Most High, if you come to ISUPK, ISUPK.com, get in these classes, we'll tell you what holy days to keep. We'll tell you what QADASH holy days to keep. Here at LASHAWAN QADASH class, and all the classes from Monday all the way to the Shabbat or Sabbath in the morning. We are teaching you what day we're going to have a Sabbath class in the morning. We're going to show you what holy days are. When we read the Tanakh, when we eat the bread, when we drink the wine, when we go over the scriptures. When we go over the scriptures. When we teach, when we read the Hebrew out of the Tanakh. That's fortifying your mind to do right on the holy days, okay? Not holidays. And I trust and hope that we had a Tawab class tonight. If everybody had a Tawab class, clap it up out there in the chat. But you know that the Bible says, Proverbs 3:31, envy not the oppressor and choose none of his ways, and ka badal or badal ka. That means separate from him. We'll read some Hebrew announcements right now. Let's see. Okay. Okay, let's see. So what time we got here? The next week we're going to go over, we're going to get more intense, like a shop. We're going to get more intense into those connectors and the ending characters so you'll understand a little bit more. I mean, I went over them briefly here, but we'll get into that a little bit more depth so you'll understand it, okay? The ending connectors are for Assyrian. I'm sorry. Yeah, ending connectors are. Yeah. But when you want to do the ending characters are for Assyrian. I'm sorry. The ending characters are used in the Assyrian part of the LASHAWAN QADASH. But when you're going to use the connectors, independent connectors and dependent connectors, you're going to use that in the Paleo, which is the original mother tongue of us all. That's Hebrew, okay? We'll go over that a little bit next week. We'll get into that. We may get into the number system, but we'll get into another class. I like to kind of mix it up, but we want to make sure you join class. And when I see you clapped it up, let's make sure. But the main thing, make sure you tune in to ISUPK South Carolina class here, and get on board and make sure you see us online. Get your Hebrew name here. We'll go over some ISUPK security announcement. We are the ISUPK, start off 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for the new brother. When a new brother or sister comes to the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves to the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There's another 6 months in which the brother and the sister will court each other. After this 6-month period, the brother and the sister will get permission from the head to marry. Tithes, which is a commandment, Numbers 18:21, Malachi 3:8-10, means tenth in the Hebrew. My Asherah, that means of the tenth. 10% of every penny of increase the Most High gives you, give to the treasury department or teacher, the priest fund. The free will offering for the priest, not mandatory. Whatsoever the amount you would like. Upcoming holy convocation. Announce. I'm sorry. Let's go to the upholding convocation. We'll talk about Hanukkah, Feast of Dedication, Hanukkah. The 25th day of the 9th month, by the space of 8 days, Friday, December 20th, 2019, for 8 days, 1 Maccabees 4, 52 and 61. Of course, we'll have plural next year. We had a Tawaf class, and hope that you enjoyed it. We'll see you back here next week. And for that, I say, Shalom.